Could 2025 be the year when Destiny frames three legends of BTS together again? What really happened in Seoul when Taehyung, RM, and Jyhope reunited under one dazzling light? Join the story, feel the heartbeat, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if this moment gives you chills. Have you ever felt time stop just for a second, that electric stillness when the past, present, and future collide in one breathtaking frame? What if that frame captured not just any stars, but three of the brightest constellations ever to rise from South Korea: Taehyung, RM, and Jyhope, standing side by side again in 2025. This isn't just nostalgia. This is a heartbeat echoing across oceans, a whisper to every army who waited, cried, and believed. And if you're watching this story unfold right now, hit the like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe, because you're witnessing history resurrect itself in real time. The streets of Seoul on that fateful evening in spring 2025 felt different. A cool mist hung in the air, the kind that promises something magical. Outside the World Korea Cultural Hall, fans had been camping for days, their hopes bundled in purple banners and trembling hands. Whispers spread through the crowd like wildfire. They're all here, together. No one quite believed it until the doors opened, the lights dimmed, and the screens burst alive with a moment no one expected: three silhouettes, walking toward each other, familiar yet impossibly new. Taehyung, with his timeless charisma, entered first. The slow-motion camera captured his every step, his coat sweeping the stage like a painting come to life. RM followed, his calm presence commanding the atmosphere, with that quiet strength that had once led a global movement. And then Jyhope. The moment his name appeared in golden script, the hall exploded into a roar that trembled the floor. Their eyes met, and for a second, the world stopped breathing. Could it be? Was BTS even for a heartbeat whole again? What made this frame so powerful wasn't just the reunion. It was the unspoken story behind it: years of growth, solitude, and separate paths converging once more under the same spotlight. Each of them had ventured far, Taehyung delving deep into acting and art, RM curating culture and poetry, Jyhope championing rhythm and dance with a soul that refused to dim. Yet on that stage, none of that mattered. It wasn't about careers or headlines. It was about three brothers, tied by music and memory, meeting again where it all began, in front of those who never stopped loving them. When the host, trembling with awe, asked them what it felt like to stand together again, RM smiled that knowing, slightly shy smile that always hides 1,000 thoughts. "It feels like time didn't move," he said softly. "We've all changed, but somehow, we're still us." The crowd fell silent. Even through the cameras, millions watching from home could feel the sincerity drip from his voice like honey. Taehyung nodded beside him, his eyes glistening under the stage lights. "I think," he added, "this is what destiny looks like when it circles back." Then Jyhope, always the beam of sunlight, broke the heaviness with a laugh that rippled through the hall. "We just wanted to dance together again," he said, and the audience melted. But even in his laughter, there was a layer of emotion, a tremor of gratitude and remembrance that every fan recognized instantly. Because behind those smiles were stories of tears, of nights spent in the quiet longing of reunion, of hope kept alive through music. As the cameras zoomed in, the frame froze, the three of them standing shoulder to shoulder, a single light cascading over them. That frame, later printed on magazine covers and fan posters worldwide, wasn't just an image. It was a chapter, a promise, a reminder that legends never fade. They just wait for the right moment to shine again. The hashtag one frame 3 stars trended within minutes, crashing servers as millions of fans flooded timelines with purple hearts and tearful emojis. What's fascinating is that this reunion wasn't pre-announced. There was no teaser, no PR build-up. It was a genuine surprise, the kind that feels like a secret gift dropped into the universe. The organizers of the event, the annual World Korea Celebration of Art and Culture, had hinted at a legendary collaboration but never revealed the magnitude of it. That mystery built the perfect storm. When the truth unraveled on stage, it wasn't just a performance, it was a phenomenon. One of the most emotional moments came when a screen behind them flickered to life, displaying footage from their early years, the 7 members. Laughter echoing through cramped studios, rehearsing until dawn. dreaming together before the world even knew their names. Taehyung turned toward the screen, his expression soft, almost wistful. RM reached out, resting a hand on his shoulder, grounding him in the present. Jyhope, ever the emotional core, whispered something to them both that wasn't caught by microphones but was seen by every fan watching. It looked like we made it. The performance that followed wasn't a medley of hits or a grand comeback, it was something more intimate. A stripped-down rendition of an old song, one that carried their shared history like a lullaby. Spring Day, as their voices intertwined, fragile yet powerful. The crowd became a sea of trembling light sticks, each wave of purple glowing like starlight against the dark. People cried openly, some whispering the lyrics through tears. That's the kind of magic no stage technology can replicate, the raw connection between artists and those who love them, forged through years of loyalty and healing. The aftermath of that night was nothing short of seismic. Major networks replayed the footage endlessly, dissecting every glance and gesture. Social media burned with theories. Was this a hint of a reunion, a symbolic goodbye, or simply a moment of shared gratitude? RM, in a later interview, left the answer dangling in poetic mystery. Sometimes, he said, we don't plan to meet again, the universe just decides it's time. That line alone became the most quoted phrase of the year, printed on t-shirts, banners, and journal covers across continents. Taehyung's artistry had always leaned toward the cinematic, and his involvement in curating the visual direction of the event became a revelation. Fans learned later that he had handpicked the lighting sequence, inspired by the concept of constellations aligning. I wanted people to see what it feels like when stars find each other again, he shared in a backstage interview. And Jyhope, true to form, he choreographed the small yet poignant movement sequence. They performed not a dance, but a slow gesture of reaching out, touching palms and stepping forward together. It was simple. It was powerful. It was everything. In the weeks that followed, the frame, that single photograph of Taehyung, RM, and Jyhope became symbolic. Art galleries displayed it. Students painted it. Poets wrote about it. Even people who weren't BTS fans admitted something about it felt human, universal, like witnessing brothers reunited after a long war. There was no need for words. The image spoke all languages. The emotional resonance of this reunion also ignited conversations about legacy. Could this be a prelude to something bigger, perhaps a full BTS comeback in the near future? Or was it a one-time convergence? A reminder that love, once created, doesn't fade, even when paths diverge? Each interpretation carried its own beauty. RM once said, music doesn't end when it stops playing. It lingers. And that's exactly what this frame did. It lingered in hearts long after the lights dimmed. By mid-year, a documentary titled One Frame, the story of 3 stars, was announced, chronicling the event and its emotional aftermath. But even before its release, fans already knew what it meant. They didn't need narration to tell them that hope, art, and brotherhood had just woven themselves into a new chapter of South Korea's cultural history. So here's the question: what is it about BTS that continues to transcend time, language, and even distance? Maybe it's their vulnerability, or their courage to be human in a world obsessed with perfection. Maybe it's the way they remind us that fame is fleeting, but connection is eternal. Or maybe it's simply because, in moments like this, when Taehyung's gaze meets RM's calm and Jyhope's laughter cuts through the silence, we remember what it means to feel alive. The final seconds of that night in 2025 still replay endlessly online. As the lights faded, RM turned to the crowd and whispered into the mic, "Thank you for waiting." The audience erupted. Again, a tidal wave of emotion crashing through sound and space. Taehyung raised his hand in a quiet salute, while Jyhope grinned and shouted, "This isn't the end, just another beginning." The frame froze there. 3 men, 3 lights, 1 memory. If you're still reading, you already know this isn't just entertainment, it's history, painted in music and emotion. Maybe you were there that night. Maybe you watched it through a screen, crying silently in your room. Or maybe you're just discovering it now, years later, wondering how one moment could capture so much meaning. Whatever the case, one truth stands: 2025 will forever be remembered as the year South Korea glowed again under the charisma of 3 stars Taehyung, RM, and jyhope united in one unforgettable frame. And as you finish this story, take a moment. Ask yourself, what does it feel like to witness legends return to the same sky? If that thought stirs something in you, drop your feelings in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more untold stories of music, love, and destiny. Because sometimes, all it takes is one frame to remind the world that even after the longest winter, spring always finds its way back.